Let's start with the man who carries the biggest responsibility on the entire show, the actor portraying Jesus himself, Jonathan Roumie. Now, you might assume that someone playing Jesus in one of the most popular Christian series in the world would naturally be a devoted Christian, and in this case, you'd actually be right. But his story is a little more interesting than people think. Jonathan was originally baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church. However, today he identifies as Catholic and has even described himself as a born-again Catholic. And if you've watched his interviews, you can tell that this role means a lot more to him than just another acting job. In fact, Jonathan has openly said that portraying Jesus has deepened his own relationship with God. Think about that for a moment. Imagine stepping into the role of Jesus day after day, speaking his words, carrying his message, and trying to represent him in front of millions of viewers. That's not exactly a light responsibility, is it? Jonathan once shared that when he travels to a new city, the very first thing he does is search for a Catholic church nearby. Not a restaurant, not a hotel upgrade. A church. That alone tells you something about how seriously he takes his faith. And when someone once asked him a simple but powerful question, what he would say if he could sit down and have a cup of coffee with Jesus, his answer was surprisingly emotional. He said he would simply ask one thing: how did I do? Just imagine asking that question after portraying Jesus on screen for years. It's honestly hard not to feel the weight of that moment. But Jonathan isn't the only cast member whose faith has sparked curiosity among fans. Take Elizabeth Tabish, for example, the actress who plays Mary Magdalene. Her performance in the show has been praised by viewers all over the world. Many fans say her portrayal feels incredibly authentic, almost spiritual. And that might not be a coincidence. Eliza. Now here's where things start to get a little more surprising, because not every actor in The Chosen actually identifies as Christian. And one of the most talked about examples is Vanessa Benavente, the actress who plays Mary, the mother of Jesus. Think about that for a moment. Mary is one of the most important figures in Christian history, a character defined by faith, devotion, and sacrifice. So naturally, many viewers assumed the actress portraying her must share the same beliefs. But that might not actually be the case. Vanessa has never publicly confirmed that she is Christian. In fact, during one interview, she was asked how she manages to portray Mary so convincingly even though she isn't a Christian herself, and interestingly enough, she didn't correct the interviewer. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean she's atheist, or agnostic, or something else entirely. The truth is, we simply don't know. And maybe that's intentional. Some actors prefer to keep their personal beliefs completely private, especially when they're working on a project that holds deep religious meaning for millions of viewers. But here's the interesting part. Even though Vanessa may not personally follow Christianity, she has spoken many times about how deeply she respects the role of Mary. She often talks about Mary's strength, her devotion, and the quiet courage it must have taken to raise someone the world would one day call the Son of God. So, whether or not she shares the same beliefs, it's clear she takes the role very seriously, and honestly, isn't that what truly matters when it comes to acting? But Vanessa isn't the only cast member whose background might surprise people. Let's talk about Shahar Isaac. In The Chosen, he plays Simon Peter, one of Jesus' closest disciples. On screen, he portrays a passionate and sometimes impulsive follower of Christ. But in real life, Shahar's background is quite different from what some fans might expect. He was born and raised in